ladies and gentlemen, I'm John Gray, and this right here
I'm Peggy.
Ain't Peggy Burton.
I'm Peggy today.
That's my partner Jerry Harris right there of What a Horse fame.
Jimmy's supposed to be here, but he bailed on me.
He bailed.
He bailed.
Well, but he's going to be on the show today, isn't he? 'Cause didn't he do an interview?
I think he did.
Yeah. We
give
did an
him
interview
credit.
we're going to play today. Yeah, everybody says, where's Fuller? Where's Fuller?
Well, he's
busy.
busy. He stays busy.
He does. He does. He and Pam stay busy.
Well, we had a big storm this week.
Well, we certainly did. And you know what? Again, it doesn't even it barely rained at my house. in
That's what's
Tullahoma.
surprising. I've seen that a lot here lately.
Well,
pouring down.
Tullahoma's uphill.
Well,
We're the highest point on the railroad from Chicago to Miami, higher than Mont Eagle.
that must be why we called havoc where I live, because
You're down.
it came our power went out at 4:25.
Yeah.
I know that because the clock on the stove
Yeah.
quit at 4:25. It came back on the next morning at 5. We ate by candlelight.
Did you?
Had to. But I mean, it
Well,
tore it up.
did that bring any fun
No.
into your life?
Nope.
Oh, come on.
I'm an old man. I was hunting a bed.
North Franklin County.
That's it. That's out here at Center Grove. But I mean, it was rough out there, and they still trees down there where they're cutting.
Well, see, last time we had something that came through that way. That's low in it. Those storms like that. I had a teacher explain it to me, a geology teacher, one time, and he said storms don't go uphill. They're not going to climb a hill, and it's uphill from everywhere to Tullahoma. And that's why that little dip down there, right down past your house,
Yeah.
goes right through and goes by Peggy's down through there.
Yep.
That's the lowest point, and that's why it goes that way.
Well-
And it goes right around the other side. Of course, you got that lake out there too. It's feeding water. On the other side, on my side, from my house, it goes downhill, and that goes right around that bottom down there and goes to a Normandy Lake.
Well, more power to them. I don't want no more of it.
We just stay. You can see it coming, and all of a sudden it just splits.
Well, I
Goes
know the
around
last
Tullahoma.
time we had a storm and it came through out where I live.
Yeah.
It took down 23 trees, all of my big oaks, every one of them, gone. And I mean, some of them, they broke them off, some of them ripped them up from the ground. It took forever to get that cleaned up out there. I mean,
Did your insurance help you any?
Well, there was one tree that touched the house. I got paid for that tree. The rest of them,
It's on you.
and they did pay for the damage that was done to the house. But if all them trees had a kind of touched the house or fell on it,
You could have taken a vacation.
it would have paid a lot more. That's the insurance for you. It doesn't always fulfill
Hey,
your needs.
you know what? We of course we're playing graduation,
Right.
and I want to again give kudos to Greg English. He gave probably the best speech I've ever heard a principal give. And he said, now it's going to be a little bit long, but when I'm through, I ain't saying anything else. And the class of 25 has accomplished more than classes, and he named every kid and every group. You know, we've got a state championship baseball team. Some of those kids played on a state championship
Right.
football team.
Yep.
Championship golf, wrestling, whatever,
Archery.
archery.
I mean, we got kids that got, well, we got a program today called Tullahoma Shop Tullahoma.
Right.
That we're talking about archery and what them kids have accomplished.
Well, he did an absolutely great job with that. And that group of kids going through there right now is just, you know, and it does it. They're a special group. The athletes are, the students are. I had 2 people made a perfect score on the
Lord.
ATC,
Hey, that's great.
just like you did.
Yeah, me. Hey, I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to ask, we need to ask Greg if Jenny wrote that speech.
She probably did. She probably did. No, Greg's a pretty sharp cat.
I know.
He is a pretty sharp cat.
But Jenny is too now. She's sharp. She helps do our football program.
She does a lot of things, and she's a very, very bright young lady. and they're a wonderful young family.
Oh yeah, oh yes. My daughter bought their house when they bought a bigger house,
Right.
and then of course Reagan, she ended up buying another house when they started having a family.
Sure,
so
sure.
it had to be bigger. So it's getting it's well
That
used.
partnership plays off, don't it?
It just keeps going. You know, we had a horse show this past weekend over in Shelbyville for 3 nights. It was a fun show, and there was some fantastic horses.
Did the government show
No,
up?
the government did not show up, and I've heard several reasons why. But a lot of people, it feels like the week before on What a Horse program, we had showed a video of one of the most corrupt inspections you will ever see. I've had more requests for that video, and a friend took it and sent it to me, but it showed how one of the inspectors for the government would take and palpate the front, but she had real long fingers, and while she's palpating the front, she was digging into the pocket where that cluster of,
Right.
of nerves is,
Yeah.
with her back finger, and you could see her applying pressure to it to get that horse to move. And it's just, I don't know whether that had anything to do with them not showing up because they've figured out that we're catching on to this one. Every time they do something or we can video, we've caught them doing something that they shouldn't do. And,
They try to keep you from videoing too.
Oh, they used to stand in front of us and everything, and that was until we got a law passed that they can't stop you from videoing. But right there's a video that we took, and right there she's trying to show them where a scar is. So she's using her fingernails to, see what she's doing? Using those fingernails to separate the hair to make believe there's a scar there. And it's just ridiculous at what the walking horse industry has gone through. I mean, it's a pity because they've gained a lot.
Yeah.
That was my mic.
That was your mic. Well, you know, the thing about it is right now they're starting to go into these other breeds.
Yeah, but
You know, they still picking on the walking horse, but some of these other breeds are getting a taste of it too.
yeah, but you know the National Horse Council, they are doing their best to have the HPA, the Horse Protection Act, rewritten to where it's only for Tennessee walking, racking, and spotted horses. And there's one reason for it.
Money.
Money, plus they do not want to go through the inspection that the walking horse does. A walking horse can barely flinch, and they'll write it up and say it's sensitive. But the saddlebreds, we've already seen, the saddlebred cannot pass the inspection that the walking horse goes through. I mean, they won't stand for it. They'll yank them legs, jerk them around, do everything. They don't want the inspections that we go through, and we've been going through them for 50 years. And now they finally found out that these other breeds, they had problems too, but they never reported it.
No.
But the walking horse did.
You know why they never reported it?
No, the walking horse.
Yeah, they was shooking that cash.
I don't know
out
what they
there.
was doing.
You
But I just
you
know
go,
that they
you
wasn't
said
turning
what?
in the
Oh, no,
violations.
no. You didn't say that, did you?
No, they wasn't turning in the violations. The walking horse industry did. So when we turned in ours, they started coming to our shows saying, well, there's no problem with the saddlebreds, there's no problems with this breed, there's no problem with that breed. But then when you did some investigating, you found out that some of the trainers, owners of the horses in the saddlebred, they had been suspended and fined for certain things, but they never turned it into the government. The walking horse is the only industry that followed the law the way it was supposed to be followed. And because we did,
Got punished.
everybody looked at us and said, oh, you're the problem, you're the problem. We wasn't the problem. We were fixing the problem. They're the problem, and we can prove it. We've got video of saddlebreds that they will not let them touch them. I mean, they grab that leg, that foot goes everywhere. But the government's still looking at us.
All right.
They're still wanting us to be dumped on. So, I mean, that's the way it's going. I mean, that's the way it has been. So we just got to live the way, fight it the best we can.
Yep, that's right. We need to say a little something about, I don't know exactly what, I know there's a couple of things going on at South Jackson. I know that the Great Gatsby Gala is coming up, and that's a big fundraiser and party. So get your tickets for that. Go to South Jackson's website or go down by the building down there and walk in and ask Gina what's going on. Gina, what's going on? Tell us what's happening, because there's always something happening at South Jackson Civic Center, always. So, and I get a new parking lot coming in on the backside.
That's good.
Oh, yeah, because people, when we'd have a big play, country show or something, if it's raining, you got to park in the mud back there in that baseball field.
That's true.
So they're taking that side and putting probably another 50 parking spots back over there.
That'd be good.
Oh, yeah. And
there's a lot of good things
and
down there.
paving that road through there where you don't have to drive through gravel and potholes.
There's a lot of good things that go on at the Civic Center.
For sure.
They've, I love
I'm going to ask you a question.
I'll answer it if I can.
Well, you can. Is there anything you're afraid of?
Not really. I mean, there's a lot of things that scare me every now and then, but once I figure it out, I just let it go. Yeah, as Julie said, big, a great big guy,
No, you can outrun him.
I don't know. There's an old saying, the bear's after two guys, and others says, I only have to outrun you. I ain't got to outrun that bear.
We have a poetry group that meets over at First Christian Church on Tuesday nights, 6 to 7, and we have a little box, and it's got prompts in there. So before we leave, instead of bringing our old stuff in, we're trying to write new stuff. You pick out a piece of paper. Well, I got a piece of paper. Mine says, write something about your biggest fear. Well, I'm like you. I got to thinking about it, and I'm not fearful for anything. And then so I wrote something about fear itself. But then I got to thinking, I love to read and I love to write. And I think right now, if someone would ask me that question again, I'd say, I would be afraid to be blind.
Well, I'm going to tell you, there's one fear I've got, and I can understand that one. But as you know, Marilyn, my wife, writes songs.
Right.
So I've been talking back and forth with her about writing one, and what it is. I want to remember everything I did today, tomorrow. And as life goes on, I want to maintain my memories.
Oh, sure.
Because when you get down to it, John,
it's all you got.
Our memories are all we've got. And I'm talking about, I sit and I think about the kids when they were small and all this. So we're going back and forth, and she's trying to please me by writing this song. As soon as we get it done, I'm gonna make her sing it.
Well, bring it to Fran, because that's what Alzheimer's Tennessee fights every day.
That's it.
So I wanna read you this little thing about fear. Fear is one of the strongest human emotions. It consumes all else like an evil potion. It steals the light that brightens one's soul and leaves you scared, empty, and cold. Hope is the feeling that brings back the light, gives you the courage to enter the fight. Hope fills you with purpose for right over wrong and gives you the melody to sing victory's song. So when this battle wages, the outcome is clear. When you choose hope, you overcome fear.
That's a good one to
That's good for
leave
you
on.
to have for today. And we're going to take a short commercial break, and we're going to be back today. The show's going to be a little bit different. We're going to show some stuff. We're going to bring some new businesses on and talk about new business, and we're going to start having a segment, and it will turn into, as soon as we get enough to sign up, into a show of its own. and it's going to be called Shop in Tullahoma.
Shop in Tullahoma.
And it's an idea Jerry had, and you know, we're all out there looking to promote our small local businesses because all their tax dollars and all their profit stay right here.
That's
The
it.
big box stores pay taxes to the city, but all the money made goes somewhere else.
That's it.
So we'll be back after these messages.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker hordes.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at SheCanSTEM.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
Gracie and Pedro might not get along so well.
You're standing on my tail.
But there's one thing they agree on. There's a right seat for everyone.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Whether you're a dog,
Hold on, Pooch.
a cat, a fish, or a rat.
And I'm a ferret.
Be sure to travel safe.
How can you be so sure? I'm absolutely positive.
On your next adventure, make sure your children are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the right seat.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Tullahoma Shopping. This is the first episode we're going to do about shopping Tullahoma local businesses. Today we're going to go to Taylor's Archery, where he has a large variety of different activities for both adults and our youth. So let's go on in and see what Tracy's got for us. I am here with Tracy Taylor, owner of Taylor's Archery here in Tullahoma, Tennessee. And Tracy, pretty much y'all cater to the youth, the adults, anybody that's interested in archery.
Pretty much.
And what all, I know you repair bows, you sell bows, but I've seen y'all working on bows, people talking about their draws not right. I have no idea.
We're a full service pro shop, so it's, I guess if you've done golf, it's kind of like going to a golf pro shop. We don't just sell them, we work on them to help fit right, get you set up right, you know, work on them when you break them. So we're retail, service, coaching, whole 9 yards pretty much.
Well, y'all hold a lot of tournaments during the year.
We do,
too.
yeah, we do some indoor stuff in the winter, and we just got done with a charity tournament, our first charity tournament about, Saturday will be 3 weeks ago.
Well, I know I came out to one of them and shot some of them, and there was you have 3D both inside and then you have outside shooting. That 3D is outside though,
yes,
right?
Yes.
And then what do you refer to as the inside?
Well, the inside would be you're just shooting paper. So
paper.
You're shooting there's different paper targets, but you're just shooting paper inside, you know, depending on the age at either 10 or 20 yards. 3D, you're shooting at, life-sized foam, three-dimensional animals with scoring rings on them, different yardages.
What's some of your youngest students?
The youngest we've ever had on that started, I think, is about 4.5, and now she's around 10, I think. So,
y'all been doing this quite a while.
Yeah, I've been doing it since '92.
Okay, well now you
in business since '92.
Well, you sell targets, you sell bows, you sell crossbows, longbows. Now, what's the difference?
Well, crossbow is basically you cock it, pull the string back, cock it, it stays cocked. So basically all you do is worry about shooting it. It looks kind of like a bow gun combination, but it's still archery. You don't need to be shooting at animals at 100 yards with it.
All right.
For most people, but then you've got the recurves and the long bows are, old wood. Most of them, they're old wood style, no cams, just a single string. You pull it back and shoot it, and then you got the compounds. That's what most people shoot. It's got, multiple cams on them.
Well, now the longbow is what the Indians use.
Yeah,
right?
something like that.
And then the crossbows, I guess, is what an old man like me would use. Cause,
it just depends.
I tried pulling some bows back, and some of them have a pretty...
Yeah, it's just, you can adjust that, though. That's adjustable.
Where it just fits the different person.
Most people. I mean, there's people with injuries that can't do it, but we've outfitted, just off the top of my head, at least 2 people that were missing a complete limb or part of a limb. And one of the guys had rigged up his own harness with his release hooked to a camera plunger so he could shoot it with his tongue.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Hey.
He could hook his bow string to his release that was kind of in this area and push it away from him, and then he had a camera plunger that run to his mouth so he could shoot it with his tongue. And we had another guy that was missing his arm, up into his shoulder, and we made a mouth tab for him so he could bite down on the mouth tab, push it away from him, and just open his mouth and shoot it.
Well, I've seen the guy, and I talked to Jackson about this, that has no arms.
Yeah, the armless archer. He's awesome.
He is a piece of work now.
Yes, you should see him change brakes on a vehicle or load a revolver.
Are you serious? I've not seen those, but I haven't seen this other.
He's a good guy.
And he's amazing. But I guess I'm pointing this out because there's children, and this is what really gets to me, because I compare this archery a lot with the horse industry. There's a lot of children out here that are youth that they can't do hard physical sports. And I always said horseback riding is something that anybody can do. We've had children with heart conditions and everything on horse, but that's something that fits right into this. That this is something that no matter what the problem is, pretty much y'all can solve it.
Most of the time, if you're coachable, we can do something with you.
Well, that's the main thing, and I know I'm very partial to you, Coach, and I'm very proud of him.
He's an okay guy.
Yeah, he is. He's okay, but I watched him in there coaching, and he relates good, and the kids seem to respond to him. But as far as coming here, I know both my grandchildren, that's all they talk about. We're going up to Tracy's. We're going to go do this. We're going to go do that. And you got a lot of my money through the month because
I appreciate
because of Hunter. He gets it. Well, some of the services now you can restring the bows.
Yeah.
You change the poundage and everything. What about the arrows? Because I've heard different people talk about this arrow and that.
We custom make them on most of them. When I say custom make, we custom put the vanes on, the feathers on them. We do that. Most of that's custom work. We cut them to length, depending on what bow you've got and what poundage and what draw length. That helps to have the right arrow for all that. So there's more to this than just walking in and saying I need an arrow that's this long, because that may not be the right arrow. There's more to it than that, to do it right.
Well, according to some of your students, they and one of them I've heard him talk a lot that he uses this draw for this release for this. Explain to me what they're talking about, or explain to the public.
You would have, you might have a guy or a girl that uses a lower poundage bow and a different release and a different arrow for target archery versus what they would use for deer hunting or elk hunting or turkey hunting or whatever. It's not always a one size fits all.
Well, do you have a lot of people that turkey hunts with bows?
Not a ton. I've done it. I enjoy bow hunting. That's basically the only way I want to kill big game. But for turkey hunting, I still honestly like to shoot them with a shotgun. I've killed a couple with a bow, but it's what I prefer.
Well, I know Hunter got him one with a bow, and he's very proud of that. He'll let me know right quick that, hey, I got one with a bow.
It makes it tougher usually.
Well, I would imagine so. But what are some of the other things that y'all do here?
We like to take people that's never done it before, and sometimes we'll do an introduction to archery. You know, we don't normally do lessons unless you own your own bow. If we're gonna do lessons, everything needs to fit you right. Now, Ashley, you know, one of the girls on our team, she does the National Archery in the Schools program. She does private lessons for those kids, and they don't necessarily have to own their own bow. We've got bows they can use. But if we're going to give actual lessons, we want the customer to have their own equipment.
All right, and you sell all that here?
Yes, sir.
And I noticed that you've got one section that use bows, so I'm assuming that they buy a bow from you, and then later on they want to purchase another bow.
Yep, they trade them in sometimes.
They trade them in.
We usually have a pretty good selection of used bows.
Well, I know I've dealt with that with Hunter. He's stepping up. I don't know what he's going to do when he becomes a man.
Buy his own.
That might be it. They might buy it on. Well, I know that y'all have kids in your archery teams that are not necessarily just from Tullahoma. And we're talking Tullahoma businesses now, but y'all draw them from the surrounding towns.
Yeah.
So how many students do you have right now?
I don't know. Our outdoor team, 3D team, usually isn't as big as our indoor, but our indoor will usually run starting off in the mid-40s, thereabouts, and then we'll use, you know, we may lose 2 or 3 to whatever, but normally our indoor team has up in the 40s.
Well, here's a big one. We have discussed children with medical problems. So when you look at that, what are some of the advantages of, because I know that you had several kids that went through the program here that are champions, national champions, some of them's won scholarships. Tell the parents a little bit about that, to where they realize that there's things out here that their children can get involved in that could help them with their education down the road.
Yeah, it's I know we've had 2 kids, and I don't know about all the scholarships that all of them's won, but we had one kid graduate with over $200,000 in scholarship, and another one with over $300,000 in scholarships. But now, as far as what all of them's graduated with, I really don't know. I think we give away, the seniors have to meet certain qualifications, but we do a $500 scholarship ourselves.
Well, I know that Josh has talked to me about this, and to me, I had 3 in college at the same time. I look at things that back when I was growing up, if I skipped school and went fishing, then I saw the woodshed when I got home. Now kids go fishing, get scholarships for college.
Yeah.
So I guess what I'm saying, we were talking about hunting. This is ideal for people to get their kids involved in the archery.
It can help.
It can lead a lot, because education gets expensive. The further you go, the more expensive it gets. Well, y'all stay pretty busy in here. Now, we're going to check Jackson out. I just want to see how important he really is for you.
Now, he's pretty important.
Well, I noticed that he gets involved in just about everything in here.
Yeah.
I am still here at Taylor's Archery, but I am with Jackson Parrish, who works here, does a little bit of everything. Explain some of the things you do, Jackson.
So I work in the pro shop, so I work on bows, sell bows, set bows up, fix them, do anything on that side. I also help coach the S3DA team with Josh and Tracy and all them, and I also shoot.
All right. Well, you're going to explain something to us now. What's this bow here?
All right, so this is a Bowtech Reckoning. So this is a long axle-to-axle bow. It's 36 inches axle to axle, so it's going to be a more forgiving bow. It's going to be easier to shoot better. So this is my target bow. This is what I shoot indoor and 3D with. So this is my target bow. I've got it specifically set up to just shoot targets and only that.
All right, well now which one are you gonna shoot first?
Whichever one you want me to.
Well, let's shoot this one.
All right. Hand me one of them red and black arrows there.
All righty. See how I helped? I did. Now, let's see if you can hit down there and don't hit my cameraman.
All right.
All right. Now, here's the question. Explain what this is.
So this is a mechanical release. So you don't shoot a bow with your fingers, you shoot a recurve with your fingers. But what this release does is it aids in a good, clean, smooth release of the bow. Now, there's multiple ways to shoot a release, and there's a right way and there's a wrong way. But this specific release makes it easy to do it the right way.
All right. So, and what's the maker of this?
This is a Stan release. Stan makes it. It's a thumb release. So how you make it go off is with your thumb, but you add pressure and then you just pull.
All right. All right. Now which bow are we going to now?
We'll go to my hunting bow now.
Gonna go to the hunting bow. So now we're gonna shoot the pig, right?
We'll shoot the pig now.
All right. I've been wanting to see that pig get shot ever since I come in here. All right, tell us about this bow.
All right, so again, this is a Bowtech, but this is a Core SR, so this is a 24 model bow, but it's shorter axle to axle, only 33 inches. So this bow is set on just a little over 70 pounds, as this one's set on 60. So this bow is made to be faster. It's made to kill stuff, and that's how I've got it set up to do, is to kill stuff.
All right. Well, let's see how good a shot you are. One dead pig. We're going to have ham for supper.
That's right.
This is good what y'all do in here, Jackson, I tell you. And I believe Tracy was talking about there's a lot of other things that y'all do that most of the time people who come in here, they bring their own bows. But he did explain that you had some bows right here that when people come in, if they're just looking at trying it out or checking it out, that they can use those bows.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's one right here. So we do lessons and we do introduction to archery. So a lesson is where we require them to have their own bow and we show them how to use it. An introduction to archery is where we'll let them use this bow that can fit a wide variety of people. And so with this bow, it's easy to set up for each person, but it also gives us the opportunity to show them all the parts of a bow, how it all works, and how to shoot it. Then if they decide they want to keep going and they want to get their own equipment, then an intro into archery turns into a lesson.
Well, the thing to start right now is the first thing I would say normally is let me try it. But I've got shoulder problems, so I'm not going to say that. I don't know that I could pull back 60, much less 70. And what are these on?
These right here go from like 6 to 22 pounds. You could pull it back.
I don't know.
You could do it.
But I will try it another time. Not that but I know that I've grabbed these bows before, and some of them, they are harder to pull back, but it's neat that y'all have got some in here that people just, they come in and if they just want to see if they like it, this is a good thing.
Absolutely.
Well, as far as the tournaments and things like this, what's the months that they go through?
You mean the kids tournaments?
Yeah.
Or so indoor, we'll usually start the very first tournament, I think, is November, December, and then indoor nationals is usually early March, and then basically 3D starts. I think Josh usually takes about a 2-week break, but 3D starts shortly thereafter. I think the outdoor nationals is in June, and so they do have a little time off there in summer, early fall to just if they want to come practice, they can.
Right.
And the
Well,
ones
I
that
know
excel, come and practice on their own, son.
Well, I noticed a lot of times I come in and there's kids in there shooting, adults too. But now, is there adult tournaments around here also that people get involved in?
that one we just did out at the park for a charity, that was anybody. Then Total Archery Challenge was up here at Circle Lee Ranch this past weekend, and that's for anybody that wants to. I think they had 2,200 people registered. Right. And then we're looking at having possibly another tournament out at the park, maybe August time frame.
Well, that'd be good. Well, I tell you what, Tracy, I want you to let everybody know your location here, where you're located.
100 East Lauderdale Street.
Phone number to get in touch with you or the store.
931-563-7706.
And hours of operation?
Monday is 9 to 7. Tuesday through Friday is 11 to 7. Saturday, noon till 6.
This place, where you grew up, where your memories were made, and where your dreams were born, where your neighbors stop to say hello, and where you're always welcome to stay a while, where your Fridays are spent under the lights, and where Saturdays are made for the water, where you can feel good about a hard day's work and take pride in a job well done, where small business makes a big impact, and home is always a sight for sore eyes. And where the best things in life, well, the best things in life are the little things. Tullahoma Utilities Authority, power in community.
Hey Bobo, do trees tell each other stories?
I'm sorry, I'm afraid I don't know that.
Hey, why don't we go find out? Listen.
Do clouds take naps?
I couldn't tell you.
Dad, do stars visit their friends?
Look!
For many senior citizens, life looks like this, but it doesn't have to. When you make your home at Parkview Senior Living, life after retirement takes on a whole new meaning. Daily exercise options, fun outings, happy hour, game nights, movies and popcorn, arts and crafts, enjoying friends over chef-prepared meals. Parkview Senior Living, where you're always home, but you're never home alone.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
So you've been meaning to do something healthy, commune with nature, get outdoors and meet new people. We have the perfect solution. Come hike with us. You can find a Tennessee Trails Association chapter near you, including Clarksville, Columbia Franklin, Highland Rim, Jackson, Knoxville, Oak Ridge, Memphis, Murfreesboro, Nashville, Plateau at Crossville, and Upper Cumberland. We're on the web at TennesseeTrails.org. It's fun, it's stress-free, and it's good for you. See you on the trails.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Just Living. And we're about to do another segment of Shopping Tullahoma. And with me today is, I'm going to assume, Jennifer, that you are the CEO.
Mm-hmm.
I asked a question, everybody points to you.
Pretty much.
Right.
I go for this and go for that. I
Go
just
for this,
do
go
for
for that.
whatever they need me to do.
Well, tell everybody the name of your,
It's the Blue Creek Plaza,
located on the corner of,
Blue Creek and Old Tullahoma Road.
and you, just name some of the things that you
We've-
have out there?
We got a laundromat, we've got an event center, we have a meat market, we have a gym, we have storage units, a cafe, a coffee shop. Just about everything you need is out there.
So just about anything you want to do, you
Yeah.
can come out there, you can get a good workout. And I'm going to tell everybody, I have been out there, and I've been to the restaurant. It's Country Cafe, and that's spelled with a K.
Yes.
And they have some great meals.
They do,
I mean,
they
so-
do. And all of our, like our hamburger meat and everything comes from our farm, which is also sold at the Farm to Fork. And
Well, I know I have been there. I've been to your gym. It's great. I've been to the restaurant. But there's a lot of other things that going on out there that y'all do. And we've got a list here of all the different activities and all the different stores. So could you walk right down the list?
yeah, we can do it. So when you first get there, you'll see the Country Cafe, and then to the left of it is a white building which has our Back Road Brew, which is a drive-through coffee shop. And back behind all that will be our storage units, which is got for boat and RV storages. We have small storage units, and it's called the Blue Creek Storage Unit. And then if you go, then there's a big long building behind the Country Cafe and all that, and it's all the whole parking lot's connected. And then behind it will go the gym, which is Hurricane Fitness. We have the Farm to Fork, which is the meat market. We have the J&J Southern Living, which is furniture and just kind of home decor. My sister hand paints a lot of door hangers and stuff, so she customizes a lot of things for people. And then next to that is the laundromat, which is a 24-hour laundromat. And then next to it is the event center.
Well, I'm going to talk about one of them that I particularly love, and that's From the Farm to the Table.
Yes.
I believe.
Yes.
I bought some hens for Thanksgiving, or for Easter, Easter. And I'm here to tell you they were huge. They really come up, and the food is fantastic. I mean, it cooked well, but I'm a chicken and dumpling, chicken and dressing kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I have bought other things there. I bought some steaks there, and
Yeah.
it's just a great place to go. And I believe your mother served ribeye steaks from there.
Yes, yes. All of her beef and most of her pork comes from there. And I believe her chicken and all that too, it comes from there as well.
Well, I know your canned goods here.
Yes.
They're unreal.
They're very, very good.
I'm
They
a
go
pinto
very
bean
well.
kind of
Yes.
guy.
Yes.
Y'all got some good relishes. That really goes good.
Yeah, those go really well. And then we have some really good seasonings to go like with the meats and stuff like that. We also try to keep in like a tallow's really popular right now, so we try to keep in the beef tallow and everything for people. We have some really good jams and jellies and stuff as well. Those are really well.
Well, I noticed that. Well, you've also got and I really looked at this hard. You have a pretty good size event center to where people
do.
can have different things.
So the event center can hold up to 150 people, and it comes with the tables and chairs and everything you kind of need. It's a big, just open space, and it has a kitchen and a bathroom and everything like that. It is very nice.
Well, I noticed all the tables and chairs. I just assumed when I was in here that you would set it up for the way they wanted, and I realized that you also had TVs hung up in there.
There's one TV on the main back wall, and then we have mainly round tables and chairs, but we have a few rectangle tables for people if they want to put their food out on it, or gift tables or stuff like that.
Well,
and the really big island is really great to put your food out on and stuff like that.
Just make a buffet.
Yeah,
Go
that's
to
what
it.
we do a lot. We've done a few events there.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm big on having family reunions and things,
Yeah.
and to me, you want to have a nice family reunion, that's a good place to have it because
It's a
you've
very
got
good spot,
everything
yes.
that people would want.
Yep. We've had a few family reunions there. We've had a few wedding receptions, and we've just had a lot of birthdays and stuff like that. But
Well, that's
those are-
great. That's great. Well, also, I went into your, and I'm gonna call it a furniture store.
Yes, that's what it is. Yeah.
I've seen a lot of different items. A lot of them look handcrafted. I guess that's where your sister customizes
So
different.
some of it is my sister and some of it is my father. So he kind of makes a lot of like tables and benches. That's all his stuff. The signs, he has a machine that he goes in and designs and does all that. All the rocking chairs and stuff, he works with the Amish to he provides them wood, and then they'll come back and do tables and stuff with him, and then they have a really close knit relationship. So there's some things that Dad will be like, "What about doing this and that?" And then they kind of create
they'll
something
make it.
together. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you, I looked at a lot of the items in there, and
Yes.
you have got a ton of stuff that just, I mean, especially I mean this in a good way. If someone's got a cabin on the lake,
Oh, for sure.
hey, you
Yes.
could decorate that place with these different items that you've got, because
Yes.
it's just a variety of everything that you'd want to look at. I
Yes,
mean,
yeah.
even consider. But
And
it's
she has little things too for people that we have the socks for that has all the little dogs on it, or little gifts and stuff like that. Soaps, candles, hand painted signs, just anything like that.
Well, I noticed some of the furniture ended up in the restaurant.
It
because
did.
I
So yes,
sat at some of them tables and benches.
Yes. He did make some of them for the restaurant as well. He loves cedar; is his favorite wood, so he always makes a lot of things out of cedar.
Well, I know I've met there in the Country Cafe is like a lot of cafes. If you go in there real early in the morning, you will, first thing you see is that table right there on your right.
Mhm.
Well, that's the liar's table. and you got Hasties, Harris's, and there's some others in there that come in and drink their coffee and have their
Yes.
breakfast, which is always some good camaraderie going on there. And I know that they always have a special every day.
Yes.
Except certain times now they'll say, we're not going to have a special this week, it's just order from the menu.
That is normally vacation, stuff like holiday
Holiday
weeks,
weekends
stuff like
and
that.
stuff.
Yeah. And then Mondays are always menu only, and Saturdays are always menu only.
All right.
But Tuesday through Friday, there's always a special, and we post it on the Facebook. We post the menu a month ahead on the Facebook, so everybody kind of knows
They'll know
what's coming up. And if you see, because we have a lot of people that love the meatloaf, and so they'll always
Oh yeah.
be like, "I'm coming that day,"
Oh yeah.
stuff like that.
You got to get that.
Yes.
Well, also your gym.
Yes.
Now you have everything. And if I miss something, I do not mean to, but you've got the treadmills, you've got the tanning beds, you've got the steam room, sauna, and then in the back you've got I guess whirlpool.
They're cold plunges.
Yeah.
Cold plunges, yeah. We have we have saunas, tanning bed, and cold plunges, which are little extra amenities, but they come with the membership. And then we have a cardio section over to the right, which has your treadmills, your steppers, your bikes, stuff like that. And then you have a lot of free weights throughout the middle, and a couple of other equipments. And then you'll go towards the back, and you'll enter more of the CrossFit kind of stuff, which is also where your cold plunges are at.
Well, I noticed looking out there, you have everything on the back now. This is your tanning beds.
Yes, it's our
which you have-
stand-up tanning bed, and we have a lay-down tanning bed.
Right. You have
Yes.
both of those. And I'm hoping that I got a shot of the steam room, because that was really impressive. But in the back, when we get there, that to me looks like a place where you could actually do aerobics
Yes.
all kinds of stuff.
You could do just about. You can do just about anything back there. There's your sauna.
Right, that's the sauna.
Yes.
And that got my eye right off the bat because it's very well made.
Yes.
It's a good one, but it'll put out that steam for you.
It does. It gets hot in there. It does.
Well, I noticed that several people coming in and out during the day, and which is super good. But also when it, and I did this video, so I'm trying to follow it myself, which is not the easiest thing to do. But in the back area, and this is another thing I like about it, the membership is done with the Geo app.
Yes, it's a Geo key, and
There's the area I was talking about.
yes, this is the outdoor area. That's like the CrossFit equipment and benches for some more free weights, and then we did the turf and the rubber mat, just to kind of give you both, and depending on your workout and stuff like that. And then we did it mainly for like, we try to have a little bit, like we have a rower out there and we have a rower inside. Some things, just in case it gets full inside, if it feels nice or if they don't mind the heat or cold, then they can go outside for a little less crowdedness and stuff like that. And there's your cold plunges.
Well, I know when walking through it and looking at everything, I was very impressed.
Yes.
But now from there, we go back up to the highway, and correct me if I'm wrong, I saw a lot of wood stacked up, the small buildings, all different size small buildings. And of course, you've got the storage buildings there, but y'all sell like at Back Brew there.
Yeah, so we actually have, so the Back Road Brew is a coffee shop. It's a drive-through coffee shop, and it's got some foods. It's more on the healthier side, so it's all mainly fruit-based. And then the little small storage units, sheds, we sell those. And then that's marble, isn't it? That's all his granite. Yeah, he sells granite as well. And then those are all the smaller mini storages. And then he has firewood up here that he sells as the rick or a bundle, or he even has them in like these crates. So he has 3 different options there, and it's kind of just like a come here, pay here. And then next to it is actually an ice machine out there as well.
Well, and this, I want everybody to know, this is located outside Tullahoma. It's still Tullahoma, but it's on the corner of Blue Creek and 130. And
Yes.
you turn left, and right there, you're pretty much doing your shopping the rest of the way.
Yes, yeah,
'Cause
there's just
is
about everything.
Well, I want you to tell everybody how to get in touch with you, because there's no way we're going to list everyone. I forgot about the wash tub. Y'all
Yes.
even got a laundromat out
We
there.
have a laundromat out there for anybody. We have, so it's a 24-hour laundromat, and we have regular size washer and dryers, and then on the back wall, we have our large size washer and dryers, which is really good for people to wash rugs or large comforters or anything like that. And we have someone that comes and cleans it out, every day. So we're big about making sure it's clean in there. And
Well, it was spick and span when I was in there.
yes, yeah.
But I'm telling you, when I started looking at everything out there, it was like walking into a mini mall outside town.
Yes.
Not downtown to where you got to worry about parking and running from one bit. It's all right there.
Yeah.
Every place you go.
Yeah.
So give everybody your phone number.
So you can contact 931-247-6005, and that will get you to the main office, and then depending on where you're wanting to go to, she can direct you to wherever part of our plaza that you want to get to.
That's it. And that's Blue Creek Plaza.
Yes.
I go there quite often. When asked why I go with light tube, Well, the answer is pretty simple. In 1946, a company was formed to provide phone systems and nurse call systems at an affordable price. That company would continue to grow. In 2000, that communication team realized the dot-com bubble would provide power, flexibility, and efficiency to house voice-over internet phone services. So they built their own platform and installed their first voice-over IP system in 2001. While Host My Calls was getting started in 1946, a year later, in 1947, saw the beginning of the Tullahoma Utility Authority. They would start providing electric power to homes and businesses throughout the entire Tullahoma area. In 1977, as more services were needed, the current building was built to provide both power and water to meet the needs as Tullahoma's growth continued. And in 2008, Tullahoma would venture into the world of fiber optics and start providing the strongest internet service in the area at affordable prices. With the history of these two companies providing dependable service, selecting Lighttube for Host My voice, text, and video to run over was an easy choice. Call today, 931-581-4411, and start experiencing great communications.
Hi, my name is Ringo. Here at Barkview Senior Living, they're human-friendly. That's why I love it here, and so does my senior human. When they want a bite, they get chef-prepared meals, and so do I. Movies in the theater, day trips, walks on the trail, and other senior humans to play with. The grass and the grounds are exquisite. It's everything my human needs to be healthy and active. Barkview. A Parkview Senior Living. For your dog's best friend, you.
Every day, thousands of kids start vaping. And I can't let this happen to my kid. Of course, it's awkward to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping. Hey, bestie, how sketch is vaping? It's hard to get their attention. Ready? Go. Yes. Look at that. You didn't even turn yours over. So if you want to talk to your kids about the dangers of vaping, you got to get it trending.
No, you're doing it wrong.
Let's go.
Can we talk?
Yeah, what's up?
Visit talkaboutvaping.org for tips on when and how to have the vape talk.
We teach Parkinson's patients how to move big and not let the Parkinson's slow them down. I've had patients I've treated in-house that could not even stand up, could not roll over in the bed, left the facility walking with a walker, have come back to us in outpatient and continued their big program and are now completely, handling life. The success of the program is just phenomenal.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you prevent wildfires.
Dude, I've got this. I've been camping since I was 5 years old.
But I am a camping influencer.
You know what? I'll bet you $5. Okay. Assistant Smokey, what is the best way to put out a campfire?
To put out a campfire, drown with water, stir, drown again. Then make sure the fire is out cold by feeling with the back of your hand.
Wait, really?
I'll take the $5.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back, and we certainly do appreciate our small businesses coming in and helping us get started on a Small Business Shop Tullahoma show. And pay attention and go see these people. They're the ones that all that money stays right here. Now, yesterday was Memorial Day, and one thing I'd like to say about Memorial Day, and I don't want to insult people who understand, but I think there's probably a whole lot of people out there who don't understand that Veterans Day is one day, and that is for veterans, and that's for Veterans Live, and who came back home, and the dead. But Memorial Day is a celebration for those folks who never came back. And it is a day to help their families who have lost a loved one in the fight for freedom in the United States of America. And the celebration was on Friday at Caboose Park, and Major General Alan Harris was the main speaker, and Robert Allen Harris Sr., and known as Alan by most people. And we're going to take you to that celebration right now with pride.
I had the privilege to introduce our speaker today, Major General retired Robert A. Harris Sr. He last served as the Assistant Adjutant General, Army Tennessee National Guard. In this capacity, he was responsible for ensuring the combat readiness of Tennessee's 10,500 citizen soldiers in 4 major Army commands and maintaining accreditation of the 117th Regional Training Institute. General Harris enlisted in the Army in 1974 and entered the Tennessee National Guard in 1977. He was commissioned as a field artillery officer in 1978 from the Tennessee Military Academy and has held numerous positions in the battery, battalion, brigade, and state level. Harris has been deployed 3 times in his military career: Desert Shield, Desert Storm, and 2 combat tours to Iraq, Operation Freedom. General Harris retired from military service in 2014 after 39 years and 10 months of service. He holds an Associate of Science from Motlow State Community College, a Bachelor of Science in Civil Engineers from Tennessee Technological University, a Master's in Public Administration from Shippensburg University, and a Master's of Strategic Studies from the United States Army War College. General Harris officially retired from the military in October 2014. Since his retirement, he has taken an active role in the Tullahoma community, as this is his hometown. He is married to the former Susan Leitner, and she's from Tullahoma too, and they have 2 children and extended family. It's been my experience to know General Alan Harris as a servant leader, a helping hand, and friend. And it's really a privilege to introduce him today, and let's give him a warm welcome.
Well, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you have heard this speech before, don't tell anybody, okay? Those of you that are veterans of this function have probably heard this a time or 2, but I love it, and I'm going to tell it again for the benefit of those that have not heard it. Ladies and gentlemen, veterans of all service branches, I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you today as we gather here to pay tribute to those who have served our nation in time of war and who have made the ultimate sacrifice for our freedom. To be certain, Memorial Day distinguishes itself from Veterans Day because it is set aside to honor those who died during wartime service, whereas Veterans Day recognizes the service of all military men and women. Think Blue Star for veterans, Gold Star for memorial, okay? If you haven't had a chance to read these, come up and read them. On this eve of Memorial Day 2025, I begin by reflecting upon our greatest generation and the many stories of bravery and sacrifice of those who saved us from tyranny and oppression in World War II. I've read lots of books, seen many movies, but none have moved me more than a story depicted in 1998 movie called Saving Private Ryan. As you may have seen, a young Army captain and 7 others were sent on a special mission just after D-Day to locate Ryan and return him safely to the rear. You see, Ryan had 3 brothers who were killed in combat on the same operation on the same day. and their mother was about to receive 3 letters. The Army Chief of Staff determined that Private Ryan, the last of the 4, would be found and returned home. That was Captain John Miller's mission. By the time the mission was over, 5 of the 8 had been killed in an effort to locate and safeguard Ryan, and this included Captain Miller. I've been challenged and inspired by the final words of Captain Miller as he reached up with his quivering hand, drew Ryan close, and said 2 words. Does anybody remember what he said? He said, "James, earn this. Earn it," referring to the sacrifice he and his squad made to find and safely return Ryan from the European battlefields. Fast forward to modern day in a national cemetery in northern France, where the now aged Ryan, visiting the grave of Captain Miller, turns to his wife. And he says, "Tell me I've led a good life. Tell me I'm a good man." Friends, I'm an old soldier who served many years, spent 3 tours overseas in the combat zone, and returned safely. Not even a scratch unless I caused it. And sometimes I feel guilty about that. I think about how I might honor those who have died for my freedom. What have I done to earn this? How can I be a good man, a good citizen? This is the message I bring to you today. Many a good boy and girl have died to give us the right to be here today to enjoy this beautiful weather, smell the freshly mowed grass, enjoy the fellowship of friends. What do those who have fallen in combat expect of us? Well, one thing is certain. They expect us to keep this country safe, keep this country strong, and continue to produce good military men and women who will defend it from tyranny and evil. Does the America of the 21st century have what it takes to do this? You bet we do, and I'll tell you why. It's because we are inspired by the America that produces young men such as Mike Carlson. On May 11, 2000, while a senior in high school, Mike wrote an incredible essay. And the Wall Street Journal published his essay near Memorial Day in 2005, in which he said, "I want my life to account for something more than just a game. In life, there are no winners. Everyone eventually loses their life. I only have so much time, and I can't waste it on a game. I don't want those close to me to look at me and tell me that I was good at a game. I want to be good at life. I want to be known as the best of the best at my job. I want people to need me, to count on me. I'm never late. I'm either on time or early. I want to help people. I want to fight for something, be part of something that is greater than myself. I want to live forever. The only way one can possibly achieve it is to live on in those you have affected." That's not thunder, that's the wind blowing through the mic. "I want to be remembered for the things I accomplished." And Michael Carlson went on to become an engineer in the United States Army, and I'll leave it to those interested to find out the fate of Sergeant Carlson. But in my mind, he's one of the many thousands of great Americans who inspire me every day. So, just to refresh everyone's memory, and to speak to those who may not know much about the history of Memorial Day, although I'm looking at the age group out here, and I can pretty much assure that everybody knows how it came about. I remind you that what is now known as Memorial Day was once known as Decoration Day, because it was a time to set aside to honor the nation's Civil War dead by decorating their graves with fresh flowers. It was first widely observed on May 30th, 1868, when General John Logan of the Grand Army of the Republic, which back then was a veteran services organization, he issued a proclamation to his members to commemorate the sacrifices of Union soldiers. Many favorite speeches have been delivered over the years, and most notably the 1884 speech by Oliver Wendell Holmes, in which he said, "In our youth, our hearts were touched with fire." In his address, he was rationalizing why we should continue to observe Memorial Day long after those in uniform have passed away. He said this: "When men have instinctively agreed to celebrate an anniversary, it will be found that there is some thought or feeling behind it which is too large to be dependent upon associations alone. For, stripped of the temporary associations which gives rise to it, it is now the moment when by common consent we pause to become conscious of our national life and rejoice in it, to recall what our country has done for each of us, and to ask ourselves what we can do for the country in return." So, to the indifferent inquirer who asks why Memorial Day is still kept up, we may answer: it celebrates and solemnly reaffirms from year to year a national act of enthusiasm and faith. It embodies in the most impressive form our belief that to act with enthusiasm and faith is the condition of acting greatly. So in 1971, Congress declared Memorial Day a national holiday to be celebrated the last Monday of May. It is a day of remembrance for those in military uniform who have made the final sacrifice in serving our nation. It is a day to honor the fallen, including over 100 Tennesseans who have given their lives since 9/11. As one of our nation's veteran service organizations states, America's collective conscience demands that all citizens be reminded of deaths of their fellow countrymen during wartime. By honoring the nation's war dead, we preserve their memory and thus their service and sacrifice. I'll add to that by saying honor and remember the war dead and tell their stories. That's why we're here. So you may note the television film called Taking Chance. Not taking a chance, but taking chance. An old veteran was chastising Lance Corporal Chance Phelps's escort officer and telling him, "You're his witness now." Without a witness, they just disappeared. On this coming Memorial Day, there are still many soldiers, airmen, Marines, sailors, keeping vigilant guard for our country both at home and in distant countries, doing what they believe is right in protecting our freedom and fighting tyranny and oppression. We should keep them and their families in our hearts. Act with enthusiasm and faith to keep them strong and support their efforts. This is how, among other ways, we can earn our freedoms and act greatly. At this place, in this small community, like thousands across the home we call America, we can see and even trace with our fingertips the names of those in uniform who have given their lives in defense of our country. Let us continue to remember them in our hearts. The words from Lawrence Benyon, an Englishman, a British poet. He wrote a poem called For the Fallen, and he begins with, With proud thanksgiving, a mother for her children. England mourns for her dead across the sea. Flesh of her flesh they are. Spirit of her spirit, fallen in the cause of the free. Those words inspire me and make me want to work to be a good man, a better man, and make my mother and my other mother, America, proud of me. So join me and take this time, this Memorial Day, to remember, and then go enjoy the summer. Thank you.
I want to invite y'all to come by Clayton's, downtown Tullahoma. We try to serve the community, the area, and we try to help people with their feet and comfortable shoes. We still measure feet. We have a great new arch mat. We have insoles. Please come see us at Clayton's and let me help you find some comfortable shoes for those achy feet.
We're gonna fit your style. We're gonna make you smile. Service and quality at Clayton Shoe Store. We're gonna fit your style.
My husband was diagnosed with a spinal infection. He lost his ability to swallow and the movement of his legs.
I couldn't turn over in bed, I couldn't walk, I couldn't eat.
They were just wonderful in the treatment and care they gave my husband.
I regained my mobility where I was able to go home.
It is miraculous.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
STEM is everywhere. Like here, behind the scenes of The Walking Dead.
When we break down clothes, we tumble it with trisodium phosphate, rock salt, and dish detergent.
We stitched together images of our model and created a 3D set that can be walked through in a VR headset.
We're able to turn 12 walkers into 1,000 walker boards.
STEM can create new worlds on and off the screen. What will you make with STEM? Get inspired at shecanstem.com.
Hi, I'm Terry Stroop with Stroop's Accurate Refrigeration, your #1 hometown HVAC company. We offer dependable and reliable service on all your HVAC equipment. We also offer high-efficiency trained cooling units. Call us for your cooling needs. Your comfort is what we do.
It's summer, call Stroop.
Gracie and Pedro might not get along so well.
You're standing on my tail.
But there's one thing they agree on. There's a right seat for everyone.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Whether you're a dog,
Hold on, Pooch.
a cat, a fish, or a rat.
And I'm a ferret.
Be sure to travel safe.
How can you be so sure?
I'm absolutely positive.
On your next adventure, make sure your children are in the right seat for their age and size. Get it right at nhtsa.gov/the-right-seat.
All right, folks, we're back, and it is time to talk a little bit more about Alzheimer's Tennessee. And I have my lovely bride in here with me today on her birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear friend. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you, John.
We ain't gonna say how old she is. She's old enough. She's perfect. She's the perfect age.
70. I am 70 years old.
70 years old
Yay.
today.
Are you happy, CJ? Yeah. I'm very happy and very thankful to have reached 70. And I have a lot of friends from school days and childhood who are turning 70, and some of them are calling me and singing to me and sending me good wishes, and it's really a lot of fun.
Good.
So that makes getting older easier.
Yes, right. That's right. And you're doing it with grace.
Oh, thank you, John. I am so hopeful that my brain will stay healthy too. Not just my body, but my brain. And you know, we don't yet have a cure for Alzheimer's disease and other dementias. We don't have a prevention. So the best thing we can do is, as we age, is to be very aware of what our body tells us and our brain. And there may be the possibility for any of us to have some form of dementia. Now, I was part of a study several years ago because I had asked some people to participate, and I thought, well, if I'm going to ask someone else to do it, I need to do it as well. So I went to Vanderbilt, to the Center for Cognitive Medicine, and I got tested, and sure enough, I have the gene, that's the APOE4. I have that gene which predisposes me to developing a form of dementia. Well, I was going to go back after I learned that, and thankfully I do not have a copy of that gene, I just have the gene. Anyway, I was scheduled to have a PET scan because PET scans give the most details, and they were looking to see how much amyloid I might have in my brain, because they wanted everyone in this study to have just the right amount for the study. So I was prepared to go and get that checked, but gosh, I had a heart attack the day before I was scheduled to go. And so I was asked to wait about 6 months before I came in for that PET scan. Well, in the meantime, the study ended. The particular medication being tested did not show difference in the people who are already taking it, and so that was the end of that study.
Okay.
But I would still like to know what my amyloid situation is. But in the meantime, the good thing is that we can stay healthy. And with that heart attack, of course, I became more aware of heart disease and things to do to keep my heart healthy. And we say often, healthy heart, healthy brain.
Right.
So it's good if all systems are healthy. And there are lots of people who are trying to get healthier, and that's just great because somebody was talking about my turning 70 and how did it feel, and I said, well, it feels good today. I said, yeah, as long as I can be healthy and happy and contribute to this life, I want to live. If I couldn't do anything to help anybody, I would probably think my life was worthless. So I want to be able to help others and care for others every day of my life. And sometimes we have to modify what we do. But right now I would say I'm in pretty good shape for the shape I'm in.
There you go.
And but I do want to remind everyone to stay healthy. We all need to eat well. Eat well. Eat healthy foods. Eat whole foods. Don't eat a bunch of preservatives. Don't eat a bunch of junk. And I love junk. I'll tell you, I love chips.
You have to love junk. You kept me for 50 years.
Is that right?
That's pretty much.
Well, I think...
And I got more junk around me than you can ever imagine.
Well, it is important, I'll just go ahead and mention this, to socialize and to be with people who make you smile and laugh.
Sure.
And sometimes there are people in our lives who have more of a toxic effect. And I believe that if we cannot come to terms with that person or have a better relationship, that it's better to let that go.
Right.
So that's another thing that's very important, is to have good social times and to keep our brains engaged in conversation. So that's very key.
Well, you know, I wrote a piece this week called about fear, and I was asking Jerry Harris earlier. I said, Jerry, is there anything you fear? And he said, well, no, not really. You know, I usually try to find a way to beat that. And he was talking about it, and then he said, you know, and then I think about it more. I think all we have as we age, or not all we have, but a great part of what we have are our memories. And I'm scared or fearful of not being able to remember. And because of that, his wife, Marilyn, who is a writer, is writing a song about that concept right there. And I said, well, when you get through, Fran needs it.
Yes.
Because that is one of the things that happens is when you start losing, you lose a lot of your memories, and starts off with short-term memory, but then it also goes back to long-term memory as well. So,
right. Well, you and I would agree on this, that it's good to record your memories. And for instance, we have all those interviews with Daddy.
Sure.
And that is just so important to have your memories recorded. If it's not on paper or video, find some way to record them, because as we get older, our memories do fade, right. And it would be good to have some of our special memories recorded.
Now, we've got a couple minutes right now left in the show.
All right.
So
well,
we need to talk about what's going on this weekend.
Okay. Thank you so much. I do also have to say, in addition to eating well and socializing, you need to rest well. Everybody needs to rest well. Get good restorative rest.
Okay.
Okay? Get good exercise and get brain exercise. Those 5 things. Can you remember them? I bet you can. Now, this weekend, we are
Make yourself happy. Okay. Be happy.
Those things.
And you know how a lot of people get happy? Going to a yard sale.
Yes, that's right. And we're having a big one this weekend. Alzheimer's Tennessee is having a huge yard sale from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. And the sale will be located at 217 Big Springs Avenue. And if you come on the backside, it's 201 Craft Lane.
Right.
But it is over behind the Markham's office building, between there and the high school.
Right.
And we have some beautiful items for sale. We have furniture, clothing, and some especially beautiful little girls' clothes. And candles. I love candles. They're regular candles, and there are battery-powered candles.
And the Markhams have had an online auction.
Yes, they have.
Some of their things that is going to, part of that's going to benefit Alzheimer's Tennessee. And what they don't sell on that there is going to be brought over there. So
right. So we're very thankful for this sale. We're still accepting items. If people need them, call us at 931-434-2348.